Yo, 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 people and patrons of the night. It is your number one horror hero, the Horrorlander. And I'm off work right now. And I decided that because I'm basically wrapping up the summer takeover for the 3 months that I've been posting a lot of videos before college starts, I would finally do a reflective video to end off the summer takeover, which is reflecting on the best horror books and movies that I got to experience during this summer. So I'm going to be going through the different stuff that I managed to basically experience, watch, or read that I thought was superb, fantastic, and just give you a quick overview of each. And I probably have some full in-depth reviews on my channel for some of this content, so you can go on my channel, check out the full reviews if you want it. Otherwise, these are just going to be short thoughts given on the best stuff. So for books, some of the best books or short stories and stuff that I had the pleasure to read during the summer. First would be Darkness Creeping by Neal Shusterman. Darkness Creeping by Neal Shusterman is a short story collection of like 20 plus or something stories. And Neal Shusterman was a writer on Goosebumps. He was responsible for the Werewolf of Fever Swamp episode, Night of the Living Dummy 3, etc. So he's a very talented writer, and he did write the Catching Cold episode in The Haunting Hour, and I believe Pool Shark. So he wrote short stories for this collection, and there is a lot of great stories in this collection, such as Flushy. Flushy was about a kid who got picked on and got swirlies, in the bathroom toilet all the time. And he's just sort of like a nerdy kid. And he comes up with a revenge plot as to how to get revenge on the 4th of July up at the highest floor of this hotel building or apartment building he stays in New York. And it gets pretty wild, pretty crazy. It's an insane story. He also wrote the Catching Cold short story, which is one of the best short stories I've ever read. And that one was effectively similar to the concept, obviously, in the episode, but it had interjections where it would cover like fairy tales and different analogies and stuff, and then correlate that to the actual story and what the main character was doing, trying to catch this urban legend ice cream truck. Really well written. One of the best written short stories I've ever read. And he wrote one, I think, called Resting Deep, which had some very scary ocean horror if you have thalassophobia. So, yeah, that was one of the best books I got to read this year. Another one was a short story that I had the pleasure to read, which was, I think, called The Man in the Underpass by Ramsey Campbell. It was in his book, Dark Companions, which I did not finish, but I did read quite a bit of stories from there. And Ramsey Campbell's The Man in the Underpass is about some schoolgirls who go under this bridge underpass, and they see this graffiti drawing, this huge graffiti drawing of this red man. And one of the girls oddly starts like researching some stuff about like Aztec gods and summonings, because she's convinced that this graffiti man who has this giant sewer pipe coming out of his crotch as a crude joke, that he potentially might be alive and he might be communicating to the girls. So that was one of the best short stories I read. It was an analogy to like pedophilia, but it was done in a clever way. It wasn't done in a gross way that makes you uncomfortable. No, it was done in a pretty clever way. So those were some of the best things that I got to read during the summer. Of course, there's other stuff like An Occurrence in Crazy Bear Valley, which was also fantastic, that I have a full review for. It was my first Brian Keene book, and it talked about 2 creature feature stories, one about Bigfoot and these cowboys getting stuck in this cabin lodge getting attacked by these Bigfoot, which was very creepy, and then one about these zombies chasing cowboys, which was very cool as well. And I'm probably missing some things that I read, but those were the biggest ones. And in terms of movies, I got to check out a lot of great movies. VHS 99 was one of them. VHS 99 is one of the best anthology movies of all time, easily one of the best found footage anthology stories, and that one dealt with 5 different stories. That was like, there was a sorority story that I hyped up, which was perfect, about like a girl who has to get hazed in order to join a sorority, and she has to get buried alive, and there might be some ghouls involved that meet her. There's also a story about like Ozzy's Dungeon, which was a game show event that went wrong, and next you know the guy ends up in a torture chamber to go through his own game show, and then some Lovecraft stuff happens. So that was also really good. And you had The Cursed. The Cursed was a gothic horror movie that was fantastic. Dealt with people turning into werewolves, but they're not your typical werewolves. What else? Carrie. Carrie was a fantastic movie, really emotional, really well acted, has one of the craziest, most batshit fucking insane climax sequences ever, and that was fantastic. You also had Thanksgiving 2023, one of the best slashers that I've ever seen. That was like a pretty much a perfect slasher movie, and it was absolutely amazing the way it was executed and done. And then you also had Nightmare on Elm Street, the first movie, which was fantastic as well. Freddy Krueger, I think, might be one of my favorite slasher villains of all time, and seeing him do the real-life dream sequences as his attacks and killings is pretty crazy. So crazy that the dude backing up the truck, you know, he's doing that because he's like, yo, Freddy Krueger? He heard the name Freddy Krueger, and he's like, oh shit, I'm backing the hell up. So you can tell that some of the stuff that I got to enjoy this summer was really high quality, and the best thing about it is I haven't even experienced all the greatest stuff yet. There's still more cool stuff out there. So stay tuned for more videos to come, and obviously the next summer we're going to go big. We're going to review a lot more crazy stuff, but this is just a reflective of some of the best things that I got to experience during the summer. And if you want more in-depth reviews and conversations, check out my channel because I probably have full-length reviews on there. That's all I got for today. If you enjoyed this video and you've liked my content, or you're excited to check out my content for the summer, hit that subscribe button down below, hit that like button, and share this video. It's a free way to support me. Lets me know you guys are engaged with the content and helps me pump out more content, knowing you guys want to look forward to this stuff. And stay tuned for the next time I upload a video. It might be later during my college semester. And of course, stay tuned as well for next year when we do the next big Summer Bash takeover. And stay cool. Stay classy. I'm copying Gator Martin, but I'm going to do it anyway. And deuces. I'm cooking alive in this car, but I do it for y'all. So if that doesn't help, hit that subscribe button.